My name is Brandon Brazier, and Jesus left the 99 to chase me, and this is my story. I was raised in church my entire life. Around 12 years old, I was baptized. Really, truly, probably not even knowing what salvation was. I did it because everybody else was doing it. As I got older and grew up and got out of high school, one of the first things I stopped going to was church because I was no longer forced to be there. I always knew there was a void in my life I was trying to fill. I just didn't know what it was. I found drugs and alcohol and started using methamphetamines around 20 years old. Through years of ups and downs and fights and in trouble with the law, I did a long-term treatment center in 2008 to 2010. When I got out, I got married. I stayed clean for a little while, started drinking, fairly much, started using pills at that time. I got out of a treatment center, and through the time of being out, I went to work for a preacher that is just a small country church in Jasper where I was raised at. And through being around him and listening and understanding, the more the salvation side that got started coming out to where I realized that I'm probably truly not saved. Not long after that is I relapsed, and he came and saw me while I was in the county jail and visited with me. And the first week I got out, I went and saw that preacher, and he carried me to his deer lease. And we got on a hilltop out there, and he truly led me to the Lord. And I truly knew at that time that I was saved. Within the next month or two, I never opened the Bible. I stayed in church, but I never opened the Bible. I never got any understanding of what the Bible says. I relapsed again back on meth around 2016, 2017, and got in trouble with the law again. My parents had always bought me out of everything. Anytime I got in trouble, my parents always got me out. And this time when I got in trouble, the actual district judge in Jasper where I was raised, she told me she was gonna save my life, and she meant it. And at that time I was sentenced to 5 years in TDC on a drug charge. I lost all hope in everything. It was like, if I know I'm saved, why did this happen again? And at one point in my life, I felt like I was never going to overcome it. Like I was never going to succeed. I was going to be a complete failure my entire life. I continued to just use, and I completely felt hopeless. And I would stay clean for a little bit of time, and then when I would relapse, that it would be just a moment of like, when are you just gonna give up? Suicide was thoughts, like it was like, hey, like why would I keep bringing my parents through this? Why would I keep bringing a sister through it? And then when I'm married to my wife now, and I started doing it to her, it was, she didn't ask for this. So mine was like, it's over. Like just give up. Just throw in the towel and say, hey, like I'm better off gone. But I just had a thought in me, just something in me knew that wasn't the answer. I didn't know what to turn to at that point. I knew I was saved, and I couldn't understand why being saved is why I relapsed. So when I was sent to prison, during the time in prison is when I was just me and the Bible, and I actually truly come to know the Lord and what the Lord can do for me, and truly understand why I was in prison. Like I ran, and the void I was trying to fill was the Lord the entire time. And I never surrendered in the world to Him. I never gave it all over to Him at that time. So when I was in prison and it was just me and the Bible, I found something that I had always looked for. It was a comfort that everything ultimately was going to be all right. This is the Bible I ended up being throughout my entire time at TDC in prison. And there were so many things that never, like when I would hear scripture preached, or when I would hear something from somebody say that, like it all sounds good and it made sense, but it truly never maybe resonated with me. Sitting there in a prison cell, I could read something and go to try to put the Bible down, and within just a few minutes I got it picked back up. And God was clear as day to me on who He was talking to and what I was intended to get to, where the Bible has completely changed my life to where I can be a husband and a father again. John 16:33, these things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulations, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. The life that I walked, the way I lived it, was no way the way I was raised. I chose a lot of the trials and tribulations I went through because I just wouldn't turn and do what ultimately I knew was the answer. When it was time to get clean and sober and it was time to change my life because of being raised in church my entire life, I knew where to go back to. Whether I liked it then or not, just because I was made to, I knew what the ultimate answer was. So through this and through the multiple trials and tribulations I've been through in my life, though, I can take heart because I know He has overcome the world.